Hello, and welcome to the Loveology podcast, where we talk about love and life with laughter. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jason.
He's the carefree one.
She's the serious one.
And we're married.
We have been since 2012, and we like to think of ourselves as a couple of loveologists.
Not because we are the experts, but because we just love love.
We enjoy studying and talking about it, so we thought, let's just start a podcast.
A place where we can share what we have learned about love, relationships, and marriage.
You can share what you've learned, and we can all grow together.
So here we are. Are you ready?
Let's get started. Hey, what is going on? This is another episode of Loveology Podcast. Thank you, each and every last one of you, for checking us out for another week, another episode, and another day.
That's right. I hope everyone had a great Christmas.
I hope you have a great Christmas and Hanukkah. I said Hanukkah. Kwanzaa started.
Yeah, last time you told me that's over, ain't it?
Yeah.
You know, he just be
Drop the ball.
Yeah, he be dropping the ball. Yeah, happy Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa.
Yeah. How was your Christmas, Jason?
It was great. Had some wonderful Christmas gifts I'm not going to disclose. And
Ooh, that sounds good.
But yeah, I had a great time. We enjoyed ourselves. We're in Jersey right now. We just left from New York.
Yes, my husband helped a childhood dream of mine come true.
Yes, she wanted to see the Christmas tree at the Rockefeller Center.
Yes, when I was a kid, I watched Home Alone 2 over and over again every single Christmas.
Lost in New
York. And there was in the movie this iconic scene where he's in front of the big tree at Rockefeller Center, and I always wanted to go.
Yes,
and I got to go.
And it's pretty awesome, in all its glamour, and there was people ice skating and everything.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, I went to Central Park and saw some more people ice skating. The weather was great. I want to say
it was great.
Yeah,
cold but great.
I mean, compared to what it normally is around this time,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
not from these parts.
I mean, 50-some degrees. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was better than 30. Yes, for sure.
Exactly. Times Square had some good time in Times Square. I mean, we just had a good time. New York is awesome, but New York, y'all can have that.
It's too many of y'all.
Too many, man. Too many. Nowhere to park. No, no Walmart. No
Walmart. We don't even go to Walmart in LA.
I'm still though. I at least want the option. Manhattan. There's no option to go to Walmart. You finna go.
There's no Target.
There's no AutoZone. They don't even want you to have a bike. I mean, have a car.
Right.
It's like, and then they charging for you to park your bike too. I saw that.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. You got to keep your head on your swivel, and you just got to keep straight, head on straight forward, and they ain't gonna move out the way for you either. It's a million people, man. Anyways,
yeah.
New York, Manhattan in particular, it's awesome, right? Good, right? That pizza, the pizza's not better than Chicago.
First of all, Jason, I told you, we can't judge all of New York's pizza off of
that pizza. We're going to do a poll. We're going to do a poll for all the people out there that had New York pizza, then crust, and then and then Chi-Town's deep dish.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
you tasted both?
Yes, and Chicago pizza I still have not tasted a pizza as good as Chicago pizza.
All right, then.
So, but I'm just saying we only ate one slice of pizza in New York.
We ate 2 slices, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. We ate at a restaurant. It was the largest pizza parlor, I guess, in the nation.
That's what they said, yeah.
Yeah, then we got some off the side of the, little corner spot. Hey, I'm walking here. But anywho,
yeah,
New York is fun. New York is great. Lot of things to do. A lot of World Trade Center. Man, we just seen a lot of different things. It's awesome. Appreciate you, New York, but we'll catch you next time.
That's right. So speaking of catching next time, I guess we'll just move right on into our episode. This is a continuation of our previous episode about infidelity.
Cheating,
Yes.
part 2.
And as I said in the previous episode, I do not know how many episodes is going to be in this series. We are focusing on a book called Rethinking Infidelity. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called State of Affairs. Rethinking Infidelity. It's by a therapist called, a therapist named Esther Perel. And she's kind of known worldwide. And yeah, so I decided to read this book, and it had a lot of great information in it. And so we're just going to go through it, and I'm going to, make this series last as long as it needs to.
To just got to get all the good information out.
Yeah, it's just such good information. And I do want to say that, of course, this is my interpretation of the book. It's kind of like a book review, I guess. So, I would definitely, encourage everyone to read it for themselves and, just let it soak in the way it needs to soak in for you, right? Because I'm not like telling you every single thing that's in the book, and I may interpret something differently than you. So if you're interested, if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and go pick that book up from the library or buy it and, give it a read.
See what it'd be like.
Yes. So we're going to talk about today how marriage is today and how that contributes to infidelity.
Let's go.
Okay. So Esther spends some time talking about the fact that marriages are different today than they were back in the day.
Really?
They have evolved into something different, right? And she's asking the question of why is infidelity such a big deal, and why is it one of the leading causes of divorce?
So you saying back in the day, infidelity was running rampant, but the other person would just stay? Is that what you saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So, good segue.
Maybe
there,
it
Jason.
was Aretha. RESPECT. Want some respect. Put some respect on her name.
No, I think it had to do with everything with women's ability not to be able. No,
Women's suffrage.
Kind of, I guess, but we haven't been able to earn the same amount of money. Actually, women still don't earn the same amount of money as men, but we definitely do much better than what we used to.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a stigma with divorce, and there still is, but not as much as it used to be. And but mainly this like idea that that's just what men did. Men cheat. What am I as a woman going to do? How am I going to be able to take care of myself and my children? If I have some with this man. So you just stay. So yeah, that was the thinking back in the 60s and before then,
So Papa was a Rolling Stone. Where
Wherever
his hat was his home.
Yes.
And he died.
Do you not remember the words?
Y'all Google those lyrics.
Okay, so but now, things are definitely different. Women, we just have more ability to leave if we want to now.
Oh, okay. Y'all a little more flexible.
Yes.
Y'all don't have to. Y'all got a little more money in your pockets.
That's right.
So I see what's going on. Y'all just use us till y'all got your money, and then y'all run.
Excuse me. This is about infidelity. So yeah, if you cheat on me, I might think about leaving you.
Get on down.
So yes, that's definitely one big deal is the fact that now women, we don't have to take this, anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she goes into explaining like marriage as a whole and how marriage used to be more of an economic thing.
Okay.
It was not about love. So there's lots
talking about marriage back in the day wasn't about love.
So this is my question, because as a Christian, I kind of felt like marriage was about love, but also like a commitment,
Yeah.
But I guess like when you think about the Bible, it doesn't really say anything about marriage being about love, does it?
You would think so, right?
I mean, as far as like
Pretty
the
sure I can find it.
in the romantic sense,
What do you mean? Yeah,
like,
that's what marriage is all about. A romantic type.
well, that's
of
what she's saying that it is about now. So I don't know. I would have to do
Teach
some
me.
more. I would have to do some more research because it's like, I don't know. She's not speaking from like a spiritual, religious sort of standpoint. So she was saying that kind of like arranged marriages, are definitely not about love because
Right.
they never even met, and there's lots of people that still have arranged marriages.
I mean, eventually you grow to love a person, right?
Maybe.
Mm.
But that basically the point is that is not what marriage was for. It was for just like economic partnership.
Classism, staying in the class. I guess
Yeah.
trying to go up to the next level.
Yeah.
Shoot, if that's the case, we shouldn't have got together. 'Cause
Uh-oh.
both of us were poor.
But she said that long-term marriages were about two individuals. They were about a strategic partnership between two families that ensured their economic survival and promoted social cohesion.
Okay.
So that's definitely not what it's about now. For some people it is, but for the most part, we view it as, oh, I want to feel tinglings and I want to be happy with you,
For sure.
right?
Right.
And it's not just like an institution. It is, but that's all that it was, is what she's saying back in the day.
Mm.
So we both had our very defined gender roles. You take care of your stuff, I take care of my stuff. And if we did that, then it was seen as a successful marriage.
Oh, okay.
So
Where the cheating part come to play in it?
So she was saying that like in some areas, cheating was like where people may find their love.
Oh wow. Okay. So she not from the States though. She's
No.
Yeah, so, I can kind of see that like in, something like Aladdin, you know what I'm saying?
Well, if you think about the movie Titanic,
Yeah.
what was happening? The mother was trying to get Rose to marry the rich mean man.
Right. Mean man.
I still don't like that actor to this day because he played that role way too good. I was like, this dude. Yeah, so she was trying to get her to marry him because they didn't have any money left, and she was like, it's a fine match with him, right? Like,
Right.
it'll secure our survival. I've watched this movie so many times that I remember the words like verbatim. Ain't that funny?
Yeah, a lot of words to movies verbatim. I guess same thing coming to America too, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. You want the queens to find him a queen.
exactly. But you talking about it don't happen in America. But, I think it did for sure.
It might have, yeah.
Yes. So anyways, yeah. So the interesting thing about Esther Perel, the author, is that she's in New York, actually. Her practice in New York City. And she has done therapy all across the world. So I also think that's interesting that she's able to look at like the way different cultures view infidelity, right? So yeah, she's talked specifically about the West, and she talks about other countries too.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. So she's saying that marriage and monogamy had nothing to do with love.
Oh wow. Okay. Gotta take her word for it.
Yeah, I mean, we can just see it as her opinion, or we can just, say we're going to look a little deeper into it later on, but we're talking about her book and what she thinks and, what her research has led her to believe.
Like I say, I guess once you get higher up into those classes, those higher classes, it's like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The rich want to marry the rich. It's kind of hard for the, lower class to get with a upper class,
Mm-hmm.
and so I can see that.
Yeah. So the main points that she was making is that marriage used to be kind of like based on duty and obligation, and now it's no longer based on that, but it's based on love and affection.
Mm-hmm.
And so she goes into talking about the fact that we used to live in a village sort of world, and then we all started moving to the city. Speaking of New York City, and then basically we just became more isolated and more alone. And so now we put a lot more pressure on the person that we're with because we don't have our village anymore. Basically, that's essentially what she's saying. Like, basically, like we used to, the women used to bond with women and men used to bond with men, and we would get some sort of emotional needs from each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of preach this on this podcast that's very important.
Right.
It's like you can't push all of your energy into one person or just expect them to be everything to you.
Right.
You're setting yourself up for disaster.
Right.
So this is essentially what she's saying. Because of the way that we live now, like you and I are away from our families.
Right.
A lot of people are like that. Sometimes we're spread throughout different continents and everything. Like we're just uprooting, and we just don't have that village anymore, and that we just expect so much from our romantic partners.
Right.
Right. So that's pretty much it. What do you think about that? You think she owned to something?
I mean, yeah. I'm just trying to bring the correlation back to
how does this pertain to infidelity?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get there.
Okay. Well, drive this car alone, buddy.
So there's a couple of things, okay, to drive it back to that.
Okay.
First is that we no longer think of sex as procreation, but we think of it as recreation. So she went through, how marriage used to be is like more of a duty, more of an obligation, and sex was like to create children, and it wasn't just like all about my sexual satisfaction. First of all, they probably was gonna have like lots of children, which my grandparents did, if it was just like all about sexual satisfaction. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just this idea that like back in the day, women saw, the idea is that women had a wifely duty to have sex, and now we have sex because we feel like it. Like that's the popular, opinion, especially in America.
Right.
So of course, I don't know, people might get mad at me for this one, but I do kind of feel like when you're married, we do have a duty to each other, right?
For sure.
To
keep us happy, hell.
Yeah, to keep us happy. So but yes, the general idea now is that like, so some of that stuff was bad, right? Like you don't want to make a woman feel like she's got to have sex whenever the man wants to have sex. But I kind of get the feeling that that's the way that it was.
Yeah.
And now it's not like that anymore. And maybe it's gone too far to the other extreme where it's like, well, I don't never have to have sex.
Right.
Like, if I don't want to, if I don't feel like it, I don't have to have sex. So now it's like all the way to the other extreme.
And then mad when they men go out and
Jason.
Well, I'm just saying. Shoot, if he hungry and you not feeding him, he gotta eat, right?
So it's okay to cheat.
I ain't saying it's okay to cheat.
How long can he be hungry before?
That's up to that man. I don't know. That's depends on the sex drive. Every man has a different sex drive. Same thing as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But I know one thing: when the women want it, they get it.
That's because y'all always ready. Well, actually, that's not true because there's lots of women out here who are struggling with husbands who will not have sex with them. So
probably because they've been playing them games. I was like, all right, we're gonna switch it up on you.
Or they could be doing some other stuff.
Who knows?
Having other problems.
Ain't no telling.
So she was saying that we still want everything out of a traditional marriage, and then we want all of the other stuff too. So this idea that we love stability, but we also want adventure.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we want familiarity,
Mm-hmm.
and then we also want new things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she's saying that this is kind of where the problem comes in. Once you get used to like this day to day life or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe like the eroticism goes down for some people.
So they need to switch it up.
Yeah, and they feel like they got to switch it up with somebody else,
Oh.
which is not cool. So the thing that really stood out to me was that this is also like this idea of who our romantic partner is supposed to be. It is also like overshadowing or like taking the place of spirituality too. So people basically put these like God like attributes on a person to be everything and everything to you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's just you're doing something that just you're gonna get disappointed because it's not possible.
So you saying that ladies, if because a lot of people thinking that it's the men that's cheating, it's the men that cheat. I don't know what's the percentages of who cheat on who and why and all that good stuff. But to just use the man as an example, let's say the man is cheating, right? So you saying that the ladies shouldn't put that type of expectation on their man not to cheat?
No. I think the whole point that she's trying to make is your disappointment may cause you to go look elsewhere. She's going into the deeper reasons of why people start to stray, right? And so she's looking at marriage from the big picture point of view. So if you expect a one person to give you everything, you're going to be disappointed because they're not going to be able to do that.
So you saying, using the same example as a guy cheating, you saying that the guy sometimes isn't, and this is just an example, the guy will, put these unrealistic measures on his wife or significant other, and when she doesn't meet those criteria or meet those thresholds, he will creep out and cheat.
He may, because he's disappointed. He's not happy.
Right.
So she's making all these points about like how we feel like marriage is supposed to make us happy. Back in the day, they kind of felt like, it's a partnership, right? It was like a more logical thing.
Right.
It wasn't so wrapped up in my happiness being the main thing.
So if I had let's say I had a vision of what I wanted my wife to be, of some type of attribute that I wanted my wife to be since I was a kid, and my wife isn't that, you saying that I shouldn't try to put those constraints on her like that, and wish she's something that she's not. Is that what you're saying? Basically?
No.
What are you saying?
Because I mean, if you wanted something different, then maybe you should have married somebody different. I'm just saying that.
But what if I want my wife to cook breakfast in heels and a thong? You know what I'm saying? But my current wife don't want to do that. Like, she think that's silly. But I always wanted, since I was a kid.
Why was you thinking about that when you were a kid?
You know how they sexualize everything. Maybe I was watching some Cinemax late at night.
You want me to cook?
No, I'm using it as an example, love. I said an example.
Because I'll do it. It's fine. We got little ones.
Example. Example. It has nothing to do with me. So, this is,
Go ahead. I was just joking.
So, yeah. So, but like, what if that's something that I want, but my wife is like, you know what? No, I think that's so ridiculous. Like, what should they do? Because they trick themselves to thinking that's what they want. This for years, because women do the same thing. You know
So
what I'm
as
saying?
I continue to read this book, she brings up another point about people, older people. She specifically said people over the age of 35
Okay.
had this idea that some sacrifice is involved in marriage, and that it's silly to believe that you can get every single thing that you want. But she said, try telling that to someone under 35.
Right.
That's just not the way that the generation views it.
You remember the 80-20 rule with Tyler Perry?
Right. I was going to bring that up. So it's like this idea that, oh my gosh, you're supposed to give me every single thing that I want.
Right.
Is that a realistic thing? Is that realistic?
They say some people are made perfectly for each other.
But does that mean that you get everything that you want in life?
I don't think so. But
do we get everything? Is it right to feel like you're supposed to get every single thing that you want in your relationship?
No.
Well, apparently some people do.
Like you said, people I like that. People under 35 and the people with mindsets under 35. It's just.
I think that some clearly that some other people had this thought too, because they probably wouldn't be getting a divorce if they didn't feel like they were supposed to be happy all the time and get everything that they want all the time. I don't know.
Right.
But it's a possibility, right?
And people change too. So you may start off with the 80-20, then it goes to 50-50.
Let's talk about the 80-20 just for the people who haven't seen Tyler Perry movie.
Okay.
So go ahead. You brought it up.
Well, I was just saying, so the 80-20 rule is out of all the things that you really want and looking for in a woman, you only gonna get about 80% of that. And 20%, she's not gonna have it. And so basically you don't want to go chasing that 20% that you don't have and leave the 80% that you already have. Be happy with what you got.
Right. So it kind of goes back to what she's saying about the village. Sometimes what you need may be some camaraderie with, someone else to give you that, right?
Right.
And why would you expect your wife to give it to you?
Right.
So it's kind of like this example that I gave. I always said the best thing that I did when I was pregnant with my first child was become a part of this group. It was called a centering group, where women who almost had the same due dates, whereas our due dates were around the same time period, we would get together and we would talk. And for me, that was just really great because it took a lot of pressure off Jason, you know what I mean? And because he was never going to understand and what I was going through, and why should I even try to talk to him about this? I can tell him, so just as communication, so he'll know what I'm dealing with or whatever.
Right.
But to really, really, really get some sympathetic talking, and understanding and an exchange, a sympathetic exchange or whatever, I need to talk to a woman who knows what I'm going through. And, it's just such a great bonding experience. And I felt like that was great. That really helped me through the pregnancy. And I think I wasn't just needing so much attention from Jason in that area because I had another outlet,
Right.
that was probably much better than me talking to Jason and crying to him.
Right. Just like, football and stuff. I would love for Asher to be yelling at the TV with me and high-fiving and upset when we losing like we're losing right now. But she doesn't. And she doesn't care about the football games at all. But that's fine. Like I said, I don't expect everything. I don't expect her to be a perfect robot wife. You know what I'm saying? So no, I have my boys. I have other, people that can help fill that that void. So yeah, I can feel you on this.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the main thing. Number one, potential cheaters out there, just understand your mate isn't your everything, even though that's what we
say. See,
we say.
That's the point that she's making.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, now
you my everything.
Yeah. You're everything to me. And it's like,
yeah.
Who can do that? Who can do that?
Nobody.
Unless
you dating Jesus.
There's a lot of pressure.
Who dating Jesus? You dating Jesus?
No. So that's what you're saying. Like, especially, like, that's why I said that the spirituality thing kind of stuck out to me, because she was like, basically, we want a perfect life, right? And we want heaven on earth, and we used to reserve that for the afterlife. Like, we didn't expect for life to be heaven.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that? So let's say you want to see if you can get the 20% from me that you don't have. Mm-hmm. Do you sometimes like, hey, Jason, want to read a book together? Do you?
We have read a book together.
So what I'm saying is, would you like secretly like ask me here and there to do some of those other 20% that you want? Or would you just flat out ask me, hey, do you want to do this? Or do you just feel like it's that rude to?
No, sometimes, people change. And so sometimes I test it, if I just really, really want you to read a book with me, then I will ask. Just like if you really, really want me to watch something, a football play,
Look, she said a play, not a game. See what I'm saying? See what I got to deal with, brothers?
A game,
a play,
or whatever.
Literally
I will
3
do
seconds.
it. I will do it for you. But if you continue to ask me every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday night that football comes on, then I'll be like, look, dude, I don't like to play. I don't like to watch football. Okay,
right.
So I'll indulge. Sometimes, yes, but so I kind of keep that same attitude with you. So as far as like my love for reading, I need to join a book club. Like, if I want to like really, or find someone else to talk to, and that's fine. Like, I don't need you to be my book club person. I can go join a book club, and that's my hobby, and that's my interest.
Right.
You don't have to be there. It's okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes. But
I think as you grow older, I think you will kind of, merge together,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you probably have read more books with me than you.
For sure.
Than you did in your lifetime before me.
Goosebumps. Remember those Goosebumps books?
That you read that?
No.
You did. Why you bring that up? You thought about reading those?
I started it. You know how you start a movie? Remember My Side of the Mountain? That was like 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stuart Little. Yeah.
Okay. Moving right along, like you say.
Right.
So those were just some of the questions that she asked. But like I said, basically, I'm hoping that you understanding what I'm saying, though. Is like, she was talking about the reasons why people stray. Why is it different nowadays than it was in the past?
Right now, currently, we're just romantic love and ever happily ever after, But back then, it was more so like, okay, let's progress our families. You know what I'm saying? It was like it wasn't about self, which marriage is about self, because you want you to be happy, right? But back then it was more so, how can we make our family happy? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a bigger picture. Okay, I can feel that.
Yeah. And so another thing she brought up was that basically love is no longer a verb, it's a noun, describing a constant state of enthusiasm, infatuation, and desire.
Okay.
But people feel really entitled to that. And the moment that they don't have that, then they start looking for something else. Or they decide to get a divorce. One of the two.
Okay, I can feel that.
So you just brought up like the self. and we are like more concerned with our own feelings, and sometimes people feel so entitled and feel like they deserve, to be happy, and they deserve to, which we do,
Yeah, I'm about to say I deserve to be happy.
yeah, we deserve to be happy.
Shoot.
But sometimes it's like they use it as a reason to go cheat, and maybe if you just like patient and just kind of like weather the storm a little bit,
Right.
then you'll get back to being happy, maybe. You know what I mean? It's like,
They say the grass is not always green on the other side. It's greener where you water it.
right. And so sometimes people just, run out and do what they do, right?
And a lot of times just lack of communication. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is just talk about it. Hey, you got something that's really bothering you, and you want to have sex 3 times a week. And in her head, she just only want to have sex 1 time a week. And y'all come together and compromise, and now y'all can just have sex twice a week. And, that'll be, not too low for you to cheat and not too high for her to shut down. So, yeah, just communicate.
Yep. So the last thing about this topic that I thought was interesting is she was saying, how young people kind of see marriage as something that she said capstone versus a cornerstone. So a capstone is, like a capstone project when you get your, master's degree or whatever. It's the last thing that you do. And cornerstone is the first block that you build. I used to work at UPS. It's like there was a cornerstone box that you build the entire wall on.
Right.
So people used to view marriage as something that like launched them into adulthood. And so they already knew basically that there was going to be some difficulties in it.
Right.
And now people want to be finished with their degree. They want to be settled in their job. They want to, they want to have like everything figured out before they get married. And their thinking is that they'll find someone who is equally as,
Successful.
Established and mature and have had time to get their like things out of the way,
Right.
like their fun times out of the way, I guess, singled them. And now that they shouldn't have to worry about cheating, but that's just not the case.
Right.
Because people are still cheating. So they, Esther also mentioned another psychiatrist, I think, that kind of said that this is very naive of people to think that they won't have a problem just because they waited until they were older to get married.
Right.
And sometimes there's some benefit in just understanding that there's going to be some difficulties.
Right.
Because like we're saying, if you know that there's going to be difficulties and you don't expect to be happy 100% of the time, your mind won't start wondering. You just know, okay, well, we're just going through a rough spot, right?
Right.
And this is just part of it. There's going to be some difficulties. We building a life together. It's going to happen.
Exactly.
Right. So I thought that was interesting because I think a lot of people do that now.
Right. Yeah, I just, I like the whole capstone, cornerstone, it's, it's more so, cause I had the same mindset kind of, I want to be able to take care of you, not thinking like, okay, well, we get married and we can build together. I wanted to already be a man and have money and all that good stuff already set up. I already have a home. I already have a reliable vehicle. But, that's kind of, it can happen, don't get me wrong. But like I said, it's just how we view marriage opposed to that cornerstone. Let's tackle the world together and let's go through the ups and downs together. Because I think that, you kind of build some strength behind all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can't remember exactly, but I believe she was saying that intimacy, the word used to mean like something that comes after you've been with someone for a while and gone through like life situations.
Yeah.
That was intimacy. Now we see intimacy as something that happens before you go through all of this stuff. It's like the thing that you're supposed to have before you get married, and that's like actually the reverse.
Wow. Yeah, we gotta do our history on this stuff.
Yeah,
They flipped the script on us.
Right. So like I said, this is one person's knowledge, trusting that she did a lot of research, and she has like 20 years of experience, 20 plus years of experience with couples therapy, right? So
Right.
she know a little something, right?
Yeah, she know a little something. She know more than a lot of these other people listening right now.
So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I just thought that was really important, and it's not something that I just don't think a lot of people really think about that,
Yeah.
how marriage used to be and how it is now, and how that affects us, how it affects our psyche.
Exactly. We coming in with the wrong mindset.
Yeah. So I'm really digging this. Stop trying to make one person be everything to you.
Correct.
That's the main takeaway.
So not
for
your
me.
Superwoman, and he's not your Superman. He's not your everything.
I can't be your Superman, your Superman.
No.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Who was that?
do it, though.
Eminem?
Yep, I think so. Can't do it.
So yes, but she said that modern love is basically a great experiment right now, and we kind of learning as we go.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But that's it for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope I said it clearly. Like I said, check out the book. It's good for you to read it and make up your own mind about what she's saying.
I think you did a good job.
Oh, thank you.
So we're gonna talk to him next week.
Next week we're gonna talk about like what happens after the disclosure that some cheating has happened.
Oh Lord, don't.
And the next coming topics is like, should you tell or should you not tell? Is there ever a good reason not to tell?
Mm-hmm.
How do we
You gotta deal with that mess, the mess that you created.
So yeah, and many more topics revolving around infidelity. Some advice to help make it work if you decide to stay together.
Right.
Should you get revenge or not?
Ooh.
What'd you think?
We'll talk about that next week.
I don't know if it's going to be next week, but all of these things are going to be coming up.
Well, coming right
in
up.
the next coming weeks.
You'll get my answer when we talk about it.
All right.
So I thank y'all for checking us out for another week. And don't forget to check out our website, loveologypodcast.com. We have some great merchandise and some other good stuff you want to check out. So don't be afraid. We would love to see you there. And if you want to purchase something to support, man, go ahead, check it out. So yeah, that'll end today. That'll end for this episode for today. So we'll catch you next week. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Love, peace, and progression. And we catch y'all next time. Holler.
You've been listening to the Loveology Podcast. Did you have fun with us today? Tell a friend about our show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to keep the conversation going. Be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Visit us at loveologypodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, Loveologists.